Let me introduce the first speaker of the day, Mr. Abhishek Datta. He is an active investor and trader since 2010 and has been exclusively using point and figure charts to trade markets actively. His focus is on writing weekly options and triangles. He is working in a Japanese multinational IT company for more than 12 years as a software engineer. He will be speaking on Nifty expiry day trading using strangles and point and figure charts. This session will be moderated by Mr. Abhijit Pathak.
Hello everyone, welcome to this next session of eTechNoc 2021. Today we have someone all the way from New Delhi and who will be talking about short selling options, mainly strangles or straddles. And I would like to welcome Abhishek Datta to this session. And Abhishek, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, Sariti sir?
So I'm good, yeah, thanks. So before we start with your presentation, can you take us through your journey of, as a trader in the stock market, when you started, how you started, and all that?
Yeah, I think I started I think almost 10, 11 years ago. But at that time, I was like pretty new to stock markets. And I was mostly trading into stocks because in 2010 I started. At that time, my father gave me some money to trade. He had a portfolio. So that portfolio, I was working with that portfolio at that time. But I think by 2012, like I was doing everything. I think I was say doing with say candlesticks and everything that is possible. But I could not do much. So what I remember is that my portfolio almost went half from 2010 to in that 2 years. So at that time, see at that time I did realize that maybe something is not working out, or maybe the candlestick charts are not my type of charts I want to see. So at that time, because I'm an engineer also, so I actually understand say just a binary. So actually I need the objectivity also while in trading. And in candlesticks, somehow I could not adjust to that subjective nature of of candlesticks. So basically, I was searching, and at that time, I found a book by on the point and figure, that was by Mr. Thomas Dorsey. So at that time I studied that book. Then I also studied also the book on book by also a book by say Duplessis. So that was the two books that I studied at that time. And at that time there was, I think, specifically not such a software where we could trade intraday. So what I used to do is I used to download all the data from NSE, and I used to actually put them on my Excel sheets. And then I used to always I used to say manually draw the XMLs. So I used to be an AOD trader for almost 3 to 5 years, until one day I saw Definage that you all have a software. So I think it was 2017, I think, which I still remember. At that time, I saw the software. I was very interested, so I thought that it would make my life easier. And then from then, like I also remember I did a startup course by Prashant Shah. He was the one who was showed us the software, told us like how to use the software and many other things. So I started using TradePoint from 2017 onwards, and since then I have been using TradePoint. Now, like I started with again with EOD. It took me about 6 months to understand like what the software was. Then I shifted to intraday charts, then to options. I also attended, I think, your seminar also, like in Delhi. At that time, I got a better idea like how to do options trading. So from there, mostly nowadays I am mostly trading options. So mostly it's just straddles, strangles. On expiry day, I usually prefer strangles. And on normal days, yeah, I do trade the futures, but mostly I'm a positional trader. I do prefer trading in cash, or maybe in futures. Intraday trading is is usually just say 5% of my initial, of my actual say trades. But yes, on the expiries, I usually, I'm say very fond of expiries. And especially, like after we have had some Nifty weekly expiries, I think, which came in 2019. After that, it has been much better to trade, say Nifty, because trading Nifty is much easier than trading Bank Nifty. So
Yeah.
that was, yeah, so that is one more thing that I found very easy. And like I remember trading Bank Nifty, and like within 2 years, I mean almost like half of my years were almost grayed out. So at least the Nifty is saving me from that. So that's the thing. So that's my journey
That,
as of now.
that's a good thing you said because I take so many seminars and every time I explain Nifty straddles, triangles, and the first question I get is, does this work on Bank Nifty also? I said, why do you
Yeah.
want to do Bank Nifty? If you are just starting, just don't touch Bank Nifty. I just keep telling people and they don't listen. They get hit, and of course now with these free trades, it's
Yes.
even worse. So they don't understand that Nifty is much. I mean, Bank Nifty. I always call it a jungly billy. I mean, since many years,
It
and
is.
that is
It
what it
is.
is. And Nifty is
It is.
much. A tamer version of. You
I
can.
think,
I mean,
yes.
control your positions easily.
Yes, yes. I think the consistency. I think I can say that like the consistency I have with Nifty. I mean, say weeklies I don't have with Bank Nifty. So if you ask me, I would rather trade Nifty, like I mean, say day after day, than say trading Bank Nifty, because what I understand as a trader is it's not the position that takes away the profits. It's the volatility actually. So
Correct.
the volatility of Bank Nifty. See, if somebody can manage it, it's very good. So that it's not that people can manage it. People can. I could also manage it for a couple of years, but then after some time, I realized that maybe it's too much. And maybe see, for me, if I have to be in markets long time, then I have to find an instrument which suits. I mean, say my behavior, and I find Nifty much better than that.
Yeah, it is like I said, it's like a wild horse. So if you are a trained jockey, you
Yes.
can tame the wild horse. But I mean, a wild trained jockey also has his shelf life. I mean, he can't do it for his lifelong.
Yes. Yes.
He has to
Yes.
be fit and young and all that. So it's better to Nifty. You can do Nifty till you retire. I mean, retire from trading, which might be never actually.
I don't think the traders retire actually, but yes,
Yeah.
at least I mean at least we should have that peace of mind. And like, see, I mean my funda is very simple. I don't want to get rich quick. I mean, I would rather take it very slow. So even if I'm able to make say almost a 3-4% a month, I am happy by that amount. Bank Nifty obviously would give you double or maybe triple of that, but it will also give you a lot of sleepless nights.
In fact, I remember, if you also will remember, I think it was 2 years back when you were in Pune in our office, that Nirmala Sitharaman day, and you had
Yes.
just before that speech, you had given your shown your setup of shorting. I think it was a put or whatever, and you
Yeah.
already had that entry typed in, and it was some
Yes.
target of 20-25 points. So everyone was rejoicing that
Yes.
300-400 points. You were happy with your
Yeah.
20 points.
Yes, yes, I think that is my setup because see, because what happens is I have a very simple thing, like I mean, you have to trade a setup for your life. When you trade a setup, whatever it gives you, you have to take it. So I'm actually very content with whatever I get. So I don't try to overreach. It's not that I haven't tried. I have tried a couple of times and I've realized that, like I have failed. I mean, frankly, as a trader, we all have. We all have failed sometimes. And then I realized that it's better to like keep your needs in check. So I think if I'm happy with the 20 points, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, finally, it all boils down to you have to identify what suits your temperament, your pocket, your nature, and everything. And then you have to,
Yes.
just because someone else is doing something else, there is no point in copying because you might not do as well as the other person is doing. As simple as that.
Yes, I think, see, I think there are many things, like it's about the capital also. Like when we started out, I mean, when I started out, I mean, the capital was like what I had, like about 2 lakh capital that I was trading with. And at that time, it feels small, like if you make 10%, you will feel what have I made. But that is the thing, like, I mean, it's a very simple saying that, like Rome was not made in a day. You have to grow slowly. So if we grow slowly, then we can sustain that growth. So that is what I try for.
Okay, so just one small question which got left out. So, are you a full-time trader or you manage job and trading both?
No, I manage job and training both. So because like I am not a full time trader, but mostly because I do EOD trade, so that is not a problem.
Okay. So coming to your system now, it's all over to you, and you can start explaining your system now.
Okay. I hope the screen is visible, right? Okay. Okay. Basically, like what I'll be discussing today is that like this is setup that I've been doing for a very long time now, and it's basically that on Nifty weekly expiries. I mean, since onset of 2019, I think Jan when it started. Since then, I've been doing this actually. So the strategy actually is around that we try to like we try to sell call inputs. Basically, it's a strangle. If you see, it's a strangle. But why am I doing that? Is because I observed that most of the times on expiries that there is some amount of premium that is left between like some ranges. Okay, like for example, if Nifty is expiring at say, I mean at a 15,000, if you see the strangle of 15,100, 15,000, and say 14,900, so you will see about 10, 15 points there. But but what I was trying to do is that I was trying to I mean say eat that premium, but also not get out of the trade. Because if you open a normal strangle chart on an expiry, you will see a lot of noise. Because the charts actually have a lot of noise. You can try changing the box size, but still, I feel like on expiry the noise is too much. So I figured out a way using point and figure charts where I could objectively like tell that where the expiry like say what the expiry range would be, and then say based on that range I could take a position. So as you said, like as you said, right? I mean, I'm happy with the 20 points, 15 points. So same is the case here. So on say expiries, if I can make those 10, 12 points, so it's a good enough. So that's why I think so that is the strategy. So I'll just go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, just moving ahead. So this strategy basically is that like we sell an in the money call and we sell an in the money put of say Nifty weekly options on expiry day. So what we are doing is basically we are selling an in the money call and in the money put. So when we do it, basically it's a shortcut. Like usually in a
Yeah,
strangle,
actually, just one thing I would like to interrupt. It is called a shortcut. In the normal words, people also call it an inverted strangle.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They also call it an inverted strangle. So usually when we sell a strangle, basically we usually would sell an OTM call and OTM put. Okay, but here we are not selling an OTM call and OTM put. Instead, we are doing the opposite. We are selling an ITM. So here, this strategy's profitability is based on the fact that if we can ascertain like where say Nifty will expire in that range. We don't have to be specific. I don't need to tell that say for example what is the exact value where Nifty will expire. But if I can tell the range, it could be a 100-point range, it could be 50-point range, or say 250. So if I can ascertain that, then based on that I can take a position. So this strategy will actually tell that like how we can correctly estimate that range. So that is it. So just I have just shown like what the shortcut strategy basically looks like. One thing we need to remember is that when we are doing when we are doing a normal strangle, what happens is that there is a premium. Say for example you take a 100-point range on expiry, the premium will be about 12 rupees, 10 rupees, depending upon depending upon the time you try to trade it. But when you take a shortcut, the premium will not be 12 rupees. It will basically be like whatever is the range plus the premium that is inside it. So, for example, if I am taking a 100-point range, so the premium would be about 112, 113, or 115. Similarly, if I take a 150-point range, it would be about 150 plus whatever is the premium. So it could be 157, 165. Similarly, if I take a 200-point range and so on, it will be 200 plus 10, 50. This is the same premium that we will also see in the strangle as well. The only thing is that we have an additional like whatever is the difference that will be added to the premium. So that is the shortcut.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now, like, this is a very, it's a very basic question that I get, like, why don't you short why don't you short the short strangles? Like, why do you want to go for a shortcut? Obviously, because like, first thing is like, obviously it's an ITM, and I have seen like people are very scary of shorting ITM calls and puts, which is okay by the way, which I understand. But what we are doing with this that we are trying to first ascertain the range. Okay, for just to know the range, I am actually using the shortcut. What you will see is that when you actually use a shortcut, what happens is that they are actually less volatile. I mean, the volatility is much less for like a short gut as compared to a short strangle. Also, if
Naturally.
you try to, yeah, also if you try to sell it, you will see also the MTM curve is also much smoother. So it will not move like a roller coaster as like a normal strangle would move. Obviously, once we are able to ascertain like the range, I mean, using the short gut, we can obviously trade the short strangle because the premium would be the same. Okay, so
Right.
if you can handle the volatility, you can obviously like if you want to save on taxes because obviously our STT and all are all based on premiums, right? So if you can understand the range, then you can go and also sell. I mean, whatever the strangle is for that. So this is the reason we are doing short guts and not strangles.
Okay.
So now this is the actual strategy. So this strategy has basically two parts. So the first part is that I need to know what is what is I mean like what is the range of the last 5 sessions. So I am including like also the expiry on Thursday. So if I have to sell say tomorrow, because tomorrow is the expiry for I think 9th of September. So I will be also checking the last week's expiry of 2nd September, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and also Wednesday. So I'll calculate the average ATR of those last 5 sessions. And what I will do is I will add 25% to it. So say for example the ATR, yeah. So for example the ATR comes to 150 average. So I will add about 25%. So on that it will be about I think it's about about 190 rupees. I mean it will be almost 190. I will just say round it off to the nearest 50. So it will be about 200. So that is my expected range of the
Yeah.
expiry that I'm expecting. Why I'm doing this is because I had also traded this when the markets were falling in March. At that time, the ATR was almost I think 400 rupees,
Yeah.
400 to 500. So that is why this is also necessary because you have to know like what is the range you are playing with. So this will give you an objectivity to like how to actually calculate that range. It's a very small activity you can do like before market hours. It takes about just 2 minutes to do that. Okay. The other thing is that the entry time. The entry time is going to be about 11:30 or even after that. Don't try to enter in the morning because we have to let the market settle. Because if we have to get an estimate of the range, it is always better to let the market settle.
Yeah.
Okay. So after 11:30, I have seen that usually the market is like where you can get a better estimate. uh, I mean, obviously, what will happen is that if you do it in the morning, you will get more premiums. But that is not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to actually know that like what is the best range. So for that, 11:30 is the best time I have seen, as per my experience. So after that, what happens is then we need to scan for various charts. So they have to be shortcuts within the expected range. So if the starting range is 200, I can do 200, I can do 150, I can do 100, I can even do 50, but it should be within that range. You can even take, even you can take even above that, but usually I've seen the expiry happens within that range. So we can scan for various charts of this range, and then we can come to know.
Just
You
1 minute.
know,
When you say scan, you're just basically plotting all those
yes,
guts, right? Because
yes,
someone
yes.
might say that there is a scanning feature. It is not, not
No,
possible
no,
to
no, no,
scan
no. No,
that.
yes, there is no scanning feature. I think what I have seen is that I just need to open like 3 or 4 charts. That's all. So
Right.
if I open just 3 or 4 charts, I am able to like tell where the expiry would be, and then so depending on that, I can take a position. So that is what is. There is no scanner available. I hope like the trade point, maybe they can do it, but I'm not sure it can be done so fast. Okay. So now coming to the actual settings. So settings for the chart is very simple. Like we have to open like in trade point, we have to open a normal say like a straddle or a strangle chart, and the box size has to be 1%. I mean the reversal box will be 3, which is the common one, and the data interval will be 1 minute. And the strikes that we choose, as I said, they will be ITM call and ITM puts. So these are the basically the chart settings. So now these are the entry conditions. So before like what we need to scan for, right? So I have seen that if the premium is less than 15, that is the ideal one. 15, 13, 12. Another thing is anything say less than 10 is usually a sure shot bet. But yes, like 15, 13 are the ones which would give you something, to trade. 10 rupees is the best actually. If you can get 10 rupees or even lower, that is something, those ranges are going to expire there. So now the first thing is I talked about the premiums. Now the second thing is that the chart. How should the chart look like? The chart should be trending down. Basically, I think that is a very simple thing. If the chart is trending down, it means that simply it would mean that we are going to expire within that range. So if you talk about a PLF chart, it should basically be giving a follow through. It should be giving a bearish follow through. Like it could be an anchor follow through, it could be a DBS follow through. It should be a follow through. Simple as that. If it's a follow through, there is a high probability that the range will hold. On the other side, in case there is no follow through, and in case the chart is consolidating, or if it is a moving up, that is a sign that the range might not hold. So I will be avoiding those ranges to short. So once I have identified that like which of these shortcuts are actually trending down. So I was talking about the 200 points, right? So I will first scan for a chart of the 200 points. I could also see like a 150 point, 100 point. I could scan them. Like there could be various combinations. I'll just show them after this slide. So based on those charts, I'll come to know like what is the price action, and based on that, I will try to like those will be my entry conditions. Okay. Now the second thing is the exit conditions. So basically we have two exit conditions. Either the range breaks, because if we are taking a 200-point range, and say for example I have just a simple example, if say Nifty is at 15,000 and my range is say 14,900 and 15,100, and if I have to taken a trade when say Nifty is at say 15,000, and if it's a break 15,100, okay, at that time you need to exit the strategy, because at that time, see, your view is going to get wrong most of the times. So if it breaks, you can wait for 1 minute. I think just a 1 minute close is okay. If it breaks, you need to exit, because first thing is we are trading. We are trading ITMs, right? So they will move very fast. So it is better to exit. Second thing is like the SL. What I do is like if I am just selling something which is a premium of 12 rupees. Assume I am taking 100-point range and the premium is 112. So my stop loss will not be more than 12 rupees, because anything less than 1:1 RR will not make sense for me like as a trader. So that is the minimum stop I will keep. So for example, whichever comes first, either the range breaks, or either this price goes to 124 in case I'm shorting at 112. So I will exit the trade. So like any one of them which comes first. Then the second thing is like when to book profits. You book profits when when there is no difference in the range, basically. So if it was 112, if it becomes 100, we exit. Simple as that. If you are trading a range of 200 and you say for example you shorted at 212, if it becomes 200, you exit, because it is not possible for it to become less than that. It will not become 198, 194, 190. If it expires in the range, it will expire like whatever is the difference between them, it will expire there. So that is when you book profit. Usually, my what I've observed is that it happens that by 3 o'clock, the entire thing dies. If there is some volatility, then maybe by 3:10, 3:15, but after 3:15, you will have nothing. So basically, by 3 o'clock, you will see everything. It's a melt. So that is when you book profit. Even if it happens before that, obviously, like you can do before that also. If you, if you feel that there is just a 1 rupees left and you want to exit, that's fine. So these are the exit conditions. Now these are some of the expiry trades that I've taken, because like I could only manage the data for the last 4 expiries. So I wish I had the data for like all other expiries, but I think for the purposes also of this session, just limiting it to the last 4. Okay. So this is the 12th August expiry. So I've just added like what is the OHLC, like open, high, low, close. We can see the actual range was actually 88 points, and the average of last 5 sessions was 158, like the ATR. So it was the 25%. If we add, it comes to 198. So this is the 200-point range. So that is the average range that I was considering when I opened the charts at about 11:30. So at 11:30, Nifty was trading at about 16,333, and like these are the strikes that I considered. You can see like 16, 16, 14, 50, 16 to 50. That is the range, 200-point range. Then I had a lower range, 16400, 16250, 16400, 16300, 16400, 16350. One thing that I've also written is that what is the pattern that we can see on these charts? On the 200 point range, we will see that we had a double bottom cell follow through, and we also had a bearish anchor. So it was for me a chart which was bearish, which was denoting that like most likely the expiry will happen in this range. One thing we need to understand, say bigger is the range, the more probable it is that say Nifty will expire within that range. So that's a very simple thing. Okay. Then I also took a range of 150 points, 400, 250. It also had the same pattern. But if you look at the lower ranges, 400 and 300 and 400 and 350, they are of 150 points each. They were basically showing a consolidation. So they were not trending basically, but they were consolidating and they had a DTB. So it was a sign for me to avoid this range. So that is what I was trying to do. So now coming to the actual trades. So what happened? So let's look at the 200 point range, 450 250. Now this is the strangle charts. So I have added the strangle chart just to show the noise. So what happens is that how can I put a stop loss? Even if I like try to trade somewhere here, like where would I put a stop loss? So and even if I do, like it can go up, it can go down. So it is very volatile, right? I mean it will make me exit out of the trade very fast. The premium at that time would be 12 rupees, but it would move very fast, right? So I need a more objective way. Even if I increase the box size, I have added a 3% chart. You can see even here there is a lot of noise. But this thing can be addressed if you go to a shortcut instead. See what I have done is this is the 250 and 450. Here
Basically,
we are
what you're doing is, 1 minute. So basically, what you're doing is we are basically shorting that same triangle of 12 to 15 rupees. You're just adding that range of maybe 100 or 150 to that premium.
yes, basically
Yeah.
yes. That is what a shortcut is basically, because shortcut is going to do that. Yeah. So one thing that we can find very simple is that this chart is much easier to read. If I see that chart, anybody who understands point and figure, he can say that there is a double bottom follow through and there is an anchor column, which is particularly bearish. So if you see that, if I see this chart at 11:30, I am confident that like it will expire. At that time, I think because there was a gap down, so the range was close to 2,212, as it was with these triangle charts, right? As when we saw these charts, so it was the same. It was the same premium. So this gave me idea. Yes. So mostly, if I just a short here with a SL of 12 points. So for this, so this trade was a success. So another example I'll show for a lower range. So this is a 150-point range. Also this range also held, because if we know where the expiry actually happened, the close. Just coming back to the previous slide, the close was at 16,364. Okay. So if you selected also this strike, this 150-point strike, still we would have made money. Now the interesting thing is, if you go again to the chart, you will see again on 1% box size there is a lot of noise, but on the shortcut of 1% there is the same pattern that is being there. So what it is telling me is that like even this range has a very good probability of holding. So obviously, if I am a safe trader, I could have gone for the 200-point one. If I was a little aggressive, maybe I could have gone for the 150. So like this is what is denoting me, like what range I should trade. Now coming to what I should not trade. What I should not trade, this 100-point range. Now again, this triangle is almost like volatile, as we saw, but this is what is happening on the 100-point range. What happened is that Nifty actually expired within the range. Obviously this premium also became 100, but the point is it was volatile. So I would have not traded this, even if there's a double bottom. See, this double bottom sell happened much later, right? But if we see say for example, when the market opened, at that point in time, we got a DTB. So this was something I thought, okay, I will not trade this. Ultimately, like it melted, but it was not a safe trade, because we have to ascertain. See, as I said, it's about actually making sure that whatever range we select, we can get premium out of it. So like whatever is the best range you can find, so we have to use that.
But looking
Now
at this
coming,
chart, it gave an entry only at the triple bottom cell, right? In the first
yes,
anchor column, there was no follow through immediately.
yes, actually, yes. Also, it happened much later in the expiry because I remember in that expiry, I think what happened is that I think it's a very late the price action happened. I mean, say
Okay.
for this to happen. So that was the reason. Yes, I mean, if somebody is aggressive, maybe at say 230 they can try it out. But again, it's not a safe trade.
Okay.
Now coming to the 50 point. I mean, these are two 50 pointers. This triangle is obviously very easy to understand what is happening. Now, actually, say look at this shortcut. This shortcut again, if you see Nifty expired within this range, like 16,386, so we expired within the 50 point, but the volatility. This volatility is like as a trader, it will take you out. I mean, as a trader, it will take you out and it will create doubts in your mind. So it's better not to trade this. Now the other one, which obviously where Nifty because the Nifty expired out of this range, this is the range of 300 350. Because Nifty expired above this, so you can see it's a trending one. And this thing was visible in the morning itself. Obviously, like I will not be trading a 50 pointer, but I wanted to show like what happens if you go lower in the range. Obviously,
Yeah.
you are much safer. Obviously, you are going to be much safer if you're on the higher range.
And
So
basically,
this was one of,
the returns are going to be the
yes.
same, right? Whether it's a higher range or lower range. It's just that the lower range has a bit of risk, where the returns in terms of points, 10, 12, 15, is going to be the same.
It will be a little more. I think on the higher range, if you see, you might get 30 points, 40 points. That is also possible. There
Okay.
might be 30, 40 points in that range. But but again, the problem is the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I have understood is that when I am say trading this, almost 90% of the expiries I can make money. Maybe like for the 10% times I am not able to make money. That's okay. But again, because I am having an RR of 1:1, so that's okay. That is why I keep that. So that is why like say, selection of the range is important, and also selecting a range like where you know that. So I mean, like which is a range where the Nifty can expire. So this is like one of the expiries. I have a couple of more. So this is the shortcut of like 350, 300. I think you saw that. This is the 18th of August. On 18th of on 18th of August, like we had a bigger range. It was about 166 point, the actual movement, and the ATR was 151. After the rounding off, it came to almost 200 points again. So that was the same range. And in this expiry, we had a holiday on Thursday, so I did not take the ATR. Obviously, the ATR was only for 4 days, so it was not for 5 days. Okay, so now what happened in this is okay. Just to note, like where Nifty closed, it closed at 16,568. So these are the ranges, and this is the CMP. At that time, Nifty was trading at about 16,666. Now these are the ranges I saw: 16,750, 550, 700, 550, 700, 500, 700, 600. Here, if you see on the larger range, which is a 200 point range, there was a consolidation. In my say previous slide, in the 200 pointer there was no consolidation. It was trending down. But here it was not. Even on the 150 pointer also there was the same thing, consolidation. But when I moved a little lower, because see, Nifty was trading at 16,600, so I was taking like 100 points above it, like as the range, like 100 points above, 100 points below. But I saw a consolidation, so it gave me some idea that it might not actually go up. Basically, it might not actually go up. So I just like I shifted the range. So the range I made was 16,700, 550. No, sorry,
So,
500.
yeah, so
This is a
looking
200
at the
point
range
range.
which you finally selected, it was, in fact, from the range itself, it is quite evident. Maybe, of course,
Yes,
since I follow this quite
yes,
religiously, it was quite evident that expiry is going to be lower and not higher.
yes. I think
So
somebody who understands.
it
Yes,
was a, it was something like a bearish trade in itself.
yes, it was basically a bearish trade. If somebody understood this trade, uh, I mean, I mean, also the beauty of this thing is if you keep watching this, you can get a fair idea where Nifty will expand.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, like if yeah, so but yes, you have to watch it. It's like it's a practice that if you do every expiry, just by looking 4 or 5 charts, you can get the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now coming to the trade that was there on the expiry. Just a minute. This is a 200-point range where there was consolidation. So at 11:30, when I opened this chart, there was no follow through. There was an anchor column, but there was no follow through. And this is an example of where I understood that this is. I mean, there is very unlikely scenario that Nifty might hold this range. So I started to now shift my ranges. So I tried out a couple of ranges. So this is the range that I initially got, 700, 500. In straddle charts, obviously, again, very much volatile. But in the shortcut, it was a simple anchor column. Like this was a follow through, right? This was an anchor column follow through. I mean, it's as simple as that. So it tells me that, like Nifty again will expire within that range. Also, this range had about, I think, 14, 15 points left to it. So I was able to trade that. So based on that, if I see the strangle, I think if I see the strangle, it had premium left. If you see about, it had about premium left. I think we are about here where I'm pointing 10, 15 rupees was there. So easily we could have shorted this. So there was premium left in this at that time. Okay. Now this also this range was there, which also held. I think this range was 150-point range. This also held, but this range in the morning was consolidating. So this was not a safe range again because of the consolidation. Of course, after the expiry happened, obviously it ended in that range. But this range was not the safe one to trade. Okay, so this is another range which was not very safe to trade. Another 150-point range, but this was a safer one after the move happened, because after 130, what happened? After 130 or 230, I think we got a follow through. That is when it became safe. Even in the morning, if I looked at it, I would have not taken this range. So these are 2-3 ranges of 150 points which I would have avoided in the morning. If you are somebody who is aggressive, then maybe after, if you even trade even late, because it's not mandatory that you have to trade at 130, but even at 130, you might be able to find something like this. But this is aggressive. I would rather prefer something like a 200. Now this is 100-point range. This is obviously, if you look at if you would just, it is a simple thing. We know. Just if we just look at the chart, we know that Nifty did not expire within the range, and it was very clear from the morning. I think from the morning itself, it was saying that I'm going up, so I'm not going to hold the range. So I did not this is 100-point range. I did not even try.
Yeah,
So
in
on the
fact,
safe side,
from the chart itself, it was very clear. Once it took a base, support near whatever it was, maybe 15, that
yes,
expiry is likely to be below 600 or above 700.
correct.
Yeah.
Now this is shortcut of the same thing, which was again saying the same thing. So like if you see the shortcut also, it will say the same thing. But yeah, but the price action here is a little, it's a better, but it tells the same thing. Just avoid it. So this is a second expiry where I was able to trade the
Can
200
you
points.
just go back to the chart which you actually traded in this 700, 500?
This is the okay. Just a minute. I'll just go back. I think yes, this is the chart. This is the strangle, and this is the
Yeah.
a shortcut. This is the shortcut. So
Yeah.
this
So
shortcut.
one thing which I can notice immediately is uh, the one which gives a follow through immediately after the first bearish column. That is what
Yes.
normally works, right? Because otherwise
Yes.
they keep
Yes.
consolidating. They don't give a
Yes. Yes.
follow through, then consolidate. So the one which gives
Yes.
a follow through immediately after the first bearish column is the one which you can look out for.
Yes, but it has to also trend down. It has to trend down.
Yeah,
So
naturally, of course, yes.
basically, yeah. It has to trend down.
Okay.
Okay. So should I move ahead?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So another expiry. Now the third expiry we are coming to. This is the 26th August. So again, the range was much smaller, about 80 points, the actual range. Again, the ATR was about 151. Again, if we just say do a round off, again, it comes to 200 points. So the trade time, again, the price was almost same. But here you can see that, like if I take the range from 16,667, if I add 100 points to it, again 750, 550. So this range had a bearish FT. Okay. So here, in our previous expiry where the range was same, there we did not have a bearish anchor column, while the range was exactly same. Okay, but here if you can see, like if we go down the range 200, 150, 100, even in the 100-point range, there was a bearish anchor column. So we could have traded any of those, say any of those ranges, and it would have been a successful trade. Okay, but obviously 100-point range would have had some more premium, it would have some more risk. 200.1 would have some less risk.
In fact,
Just
does this? I think, of course, I have not yet seen the charts, but from what I can see over here, does it point to a silent expiry, not
Yes, it
violent
was more of
expiry?
a silent. Yes, it was not a violent expiry. I think the violent expiry was the last one.
Yes.
The one that we're discussing before that. So that was more of a violent expiry. Whenever the melting, usually what I've seen, like whenever there is no premium left, if we have just 10 say points, 11 points in a 200-point range, it is going to be a silent expiry. If you have 15 points, 17 points, usually that time I get a feel that, like that time the expiry could be volatile. Okay, so coming to now this 200-point range, this triangle, as we all know, has been like not easy to trade this, but on the shortcuts, a simple anchor column follow through, which is again an anchor. So when I saw this, if we see it in contrast to, to the other chart that we were seeing in the expiry, there was a consolidation. There is no consolidation. So it tells that how you can trade this. This is a 150-point range. These are the strangle charts. And again the same thing, here was an anchor column, actually a full anchor column, but yes, I think I would say as price action, the 200-point price action was much better than the 151. That was more convincing. This is also a bearish pattern, but again this is an anchor column. It could reverse, but yes, like this is okay to trade to. So this is another 150-point range. So we can see another 150-point range, what happens in this triangle. We saw this one. Another 200-point, sorry, this is a 100-pointer. I just mistakenly wrote a say 200. So this is a 100-pointer range. If you see, this is also very bearish, right? So this also tells me that obviously the expiry can happen within this, but because the range is much lower, uh, in terms of risk, it has more risk. But if you are very confident of maybe what I would have, what actually I did is, I will tell you what I did is that I shot it at about 11:30, and about 2:30 when at about 2 o'clock 1:30 I saw this chart again. So what I did it, I simply just shifted one strike up, because I had sold the 700 and 500 call, so I shifted the 500 call and I just moved it up to 600. At that time I had already eaten 5-6 rupees premium of the 200-point range. I had already eaten it. It also had about 8 to 9 points left. So collectively, I was able to eat about 15, 16 points. But this is something you can do with experience. Say this adjustment. This can be done with experience, but if you're starting somebody who is new, I would say like stick to that 11:30 rule and stick to a range which is, much more wider.
This gives me something else to look at. Have you ever tried? Because from whatever charts I have seen, almost every single chart has a bearish anchor column at the open of the expiry day. That is
Yes,
what it
yes,
sees. So
yes,
have you ever
yes.
tried to judge the ATR at about 320 on Wednesday,
I
and so
haven't
that you
tried
get
that, but
advantage of that anchor column in the morning on Thursday?
I haven't tried that actually, because I don't take overnight position on options.
Okay.
So yeah, so I haven't tried that, but this is something that I think that I will give a thought.
In fact, yeah, that's almost every single chart has a bearish anchor column to start with.
Yes, yes. That it has. Actually, this strategy can also be traded on Wednesday, but on Wednesday, what happens that if the VIX increases, then you might be in trouble, because on Thursday there is no play of VIX. So like whatever happens, like if the VIX increases or it does not increase, it will expire within the range and the premium will made. But on Wednesday also you can do it. I usually have done it sometimes on Wednesday, but Thursdays are the days where it is very, very likely for you to get a better result.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the 100-point range. I think, okay, this is the range where this is a short gut of 100 points, 750, 650. So this is where it tells you in the morning itself that you should not trade this range. Simple as that. If you look at, I mean, in say contrast to the other ranges, this is consolidation. Like we also have a triple top buy here. So I would not be touching this range if I see this. So it's not trending down, it's consolidating. I know it's unlikely that it will expire in the, I mean, say in this range, 650, 750, mostly outside of this. Okay, now this is the expiry that happened the last week. So in this expiry, we had even a higher range, about 185 points, the actual range. And this expiry, what happened is that I actually had taken a 200-point range, and that range, even like I say, remember, I think at 3 o'clock, that is when the range closed. So it was like, I think Nifty. I'll just show you like the chart. I mean, I think I still remember it was just 3 points away to break the range, just 3 points away. But I still held up because the chart was really bearish. I was not panicking. Yeah, obviously, I mean, if somebody trades it first time, they will panic. But I was not under any panic because the chart was really bearish, and I'll just show you why. So again, I mean, we have now moved much more. I think from the last expiry, we have moved almost I think 500 points. So these are ranges that I actually saw. 17,300, 17,100. Like if you see all this, we had a DBS FT, DBS FT in 200 pointers, 150 pointers, and even on the and also on the 150 pointer, we also had a triple top, like which was a bullish sign. Say for that thing, so that range would have broke. Say that range would have broken. Also, we
Is
had a
that
double
DT,
top buy.
is that DTB or
Uh,
DBS?
yes, all three are DBS. All three are DBS, and the fourth one is an anchor FT.
Okay.
I'm very sorry about that. Yeah. So if we see now the 200-point range, so this is the range 17,300 and 17,100. So because Nifty at that time I think was at 17,200 or close to that. I think what I remember. I think this was the price, right? So 17,165. So obviously, if I take like 150 points away from it, obviously that range is going to be much more safer. So this is what it was. It was an anchor column follow through. It was simply telling me that like this range will hold on. It had a premium of almost 7 to 8 points. So it did not have a lot of premium, but it had some premium to trade. If you see another 200-point range, this is the actual one that I actually see traded. 17,250 and 17,50. What happened is, as I was telling you, that I think Nifty made a high of 17,244. I think that was the high that was made. But if you see, if you are in this if you're in this triangle chart, you would not be able to stay in the trade. You can see very well, right? It came down here, then it shot up, and it again came down. Trading a triangle was very, very tough. But what kept me in the trade was the short gut, because the short gut was simply this. It was simply this. There was no confusion in my mind that the range will hold on. So this was the actual reason that actually told me.
There was no
Yes.
volatility in the short gut, but there was
Yes.
volatility in the strangle.
Yes, there was volatility in this triangle. And see, this is, I think, as a trader, we get out of trades because of volatility most of the times. So that is the thing which, like, shortcut helps me. Actually, also, like, because the trading is mostly psychological, right? So if I see a chart and it gives me that thing, that like it gives me that thing, okay, you don't have to worry, this thing will hold on. So
Yeah.
that was the thing that helped me. So another 150-point range, obviously, because Nifty expired above it. So we will also see this range. Like, this is a simple DBS follow through. This kept on trending down. So
This is a
again, like,
dream. This is a dream
this is a
chart.
dream. Yes. Yeah.
Continuous follow
Yeah.
through.
It's a dream chart. Usually, it doesn't happen that way. But like, even, if you looked at if you had taken a range of 750 and 7250, there was a possibility you could have easily shifted up. You could have moved up to 17,100 by
Yeah.
just looking at this chart. and you could have eaten a little more premium out of that. So these are small adjustments we can make, but they would have to be made, I mean, closer to expiry when you have a little more confirmation. Now another 150 point range, again it held. Uh, Again, this is the anchor column and also like a DBS. So this was a triple bottom sell, and again after that we had an anchor column follow through. I think this is one of the cases where, like AP sir you were saying, and maybe on Wednesday 3:30, if we find something like this, maybe then we can sell it. So
So
this
this is
is
a
something.
I
Yeah,
think this is a good STBT idea also. Every Wednesday.
yeah, yes, yeah. This is a good STBT idea if you can find out. So this is a very, I mean, this is a very good price action actually. The 150 point range on 1% chart, I think this is the one that did not hold up. 7200, 750. This is the range that did not hold because Nifty expired at 240 almost. So obviously this chart started to trend. And why I did not trade this even in the morning, because again, in the morning itself, there was a triple top ban.
Oh,
So it did not come to my mind because when I looked at the chart, I was sure that, okay, I will not trade this. So this is the range I will avoid. So that is why I took a 50 point extra. I mean, I took 50 point extra from like wherever I was. So Nifty was trading as 166. I took almost 100 points extra. Okay,
okay.
just by looking at this chart, because I knew that there is very obviously very little possibility. And if you see also, like, it expired very close to the range. But yes, the chart helped me to stay in that.
Yeah.
Now this is a 100 point range. Again, this range also broke. Okay, so again in the morning, by looking at the chart, that we should not be trading this range. So these are the trades that I have done in the last 4 weeks. I have done even, I mean, actually I've done these trades even more. So I'm sorry I could not have the data for like all the expiries, because the problem with weekly expiries is that we don't have the data for them. Like
Yeah, right.
after, after the Thursday, so I had to save all this data every Thursday night, so that so it won't go away. So some important points, like just on this expiry, sorry, just on this strategy, that it will work best if you do it on expiry day. Okay, because again you don't have to worry about VIX and everything. You just have to worry about just that range. Okay,
Yeah.
and if you do it closer to expiry time, so if you can do it also at 130, 230. If there is premium, you can do it. Okay, don't yeah, obviously there should be at least 10 rupees, 8 rupees for you to do it. Don't try to do it at say 2 3 rupees, then you will not get anything, because everything will be just a brokerage and cost. One thing I was saying is that there can be multiple ranges which might exhibit these patterns. It's up to our judgment to actually choose those ranges which we think would be best for us. Okay, if
Right.
because I showed some multiple ranges, like there was 150 point, 200 point. Some of them did held up. Okay, also the lower ones also did hold up. But the thing is that like it's all about probabilities. If you ask me, I would go for a range which is wider, and maybe I would narrow it down closer to expiry. I would not do it vice versa. Okay. Also, it's possible that the SL hits. What I've shown right now is, are those best conditions where SL did not hit, but it is possible that the SL would hit, that the expiry. It could go out of the range. What I would say, don't panic. If it has gone out, find another range. Even if you lose 10 point, 12 points, you will get another range where you can make those
Absolutely.
10, 12 points. So it's not that, like if it is, obviously you can't do it at 3 o'clock. Okay, you can't do it at 3 o'clock, but if it happens at 1:30, 2:30, there is a possibility you can again see the charts and you can do it. It happens to me like 2 out of 10 times, or like 1 out of 10 times. It happens, but I have been able to manage it most of the times. Uh, so also I said like how we can shift to the ranges. So like you can do the shifting, the adjustment, but first make sure you are able to trade this strategy for at least for a couple of expiries, then you do the adjustments. So that would be the best thing. I think that's all from my side. So like if you just talk about the margins in, say in that terms, if you just sell it like naked, without any OTM hedges, so it will cost about it's about 1 lakh. If you do the OTM hedges, which I usually do, that cost about 55,000. What I usually would do is that I would buy those OTMs of 1 rupees or the 80 paisa. They would actually considerably bring the margin down. Obviously, if you find something of 12 rupees, then the 2 rupees is cost. But if you see the return, it's almost 1%. So in a month, you can make 2 to 3% easily if you follow this strategy. But yes, this strategy, if you're conservative, you can make 2 to 3%. If you're aggressive, maybe 4 to 5%. But as I said, that the like win rate of this strategy is very high because it's not an aggressive strategy. It's actually a strategy which is very simple to execute if you understand PNF charts. And if you're content, you can make this. You can make these points. I'll just see.
From your experience, what is the lowest and highest? I mean, the minimum and maximum points you have managed to get. I mean, minimum of course can't be less than 10, right?
Yeah, minimum would not be, but it can also be 8 if I am shifting my ranges. So if I've already eaten 5 6 points,
Yeah.
so I'm okay.
Let's say
I'm okay to like
minimum
take it.
minimum 8 to 10. What is the maximum you have managed to get?
Ma-
Maybe you were
I
lucky.
I I was lucky. I was able to take about 20 points once.
Okay.
20 points, but that time I think that was also in the month of March because the premiums were really high. Because the
Last year.
premiums were really high. Yeah, it was really high because the premiums were
Yes.
really high. Uh, at that time, I think I still remember it was about 22 points, and the range was almost say 1,000 points because the
Right.
VIX was almost 70. Because the VIX was 70, I think. So I was very sure that like so Nifty is not going to move so much on an expiry day in 2 hours, 500 points here and there.
In fact,
So
this brings out an interesting point. You said you traded this throughout the COVID volatility, right? Even when VIX was 70, 80, 85, February,
yes,
March
yes,
2020.
yes, yes.
Because that was a time when hardly anyone could get good strangle shots.
Yes, yes, because that is the thing. If you're trading on expiries, that is the only time you could get it right.
Yeah.
Only on expiry day. If you're trading on say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, it was not easy to trade that. I specifically know because most of the times actually I was into the long strangles and long straddles because I
Yeah.
knew like how the
So,
premiums are flying away.
yeah. So in fact, it's more like a all-weather strategy. This one, no matter where VIX is,
Yes,
as
it's
long as you
all
identify
weather.
the range.
Yeah, if you can identify the range perfectly, and because I think it's a simple strategy, it doesn't take a lot of like say from you. Like if you say, if you know a little bit of PNF, and if you know like what are the ranges, because it's a very simple estimate. You just have to do simple calculation: 100 points above, 100 points
Yeah.
below, 50 points above. It's a simple max, so you don't have to do a lot. Within when I started 11:30, within 10 minutes I can figure out everything.
Yeah, it's just a
If
matter of
some
plotting those four charts
Yeah.
and identifying which one is best.
Yes, so if you just see in the screen, you can get it out. The one thing that I can say is that yes, everything is about the greed in this, because usually you would feel that why to like struggle for 10 points, but I can tell you these 10 points are the easiest 10 points you'll get on an expiry.
Yeah.
Because what happens is I usually sell I would usually just say sell the strangles, and I would not even watch it most of the time. I just have to watch Nifty, that's all, because I
Okay.
know ultimately when the expiry happens, they would come down to this. They would come down to like whatever the range is, and then I would get my point. So that is why expiry wise, I do this every expiry. There are few friends who trade with me, and they know very well like this is one of my favorite strategies.
Yeah, so actually in the morning anchor column itself, this chart has told you the expiry range already. That is
Yes,
what it
yes,
seems to
yes,
me.
yes,
So it's just
yes,
a question of picking your pair and trading it, which pair
yes.
to
It
trade.
is about picking that. Yeah, it is about picking that. I think one thing I can suggest everybody is that like don't try to trade the strangle charts, because if you try to even trade the strangle charts, you will not be able to manage it, because even if it is the same premium, it will move very volatile. You will not be able to manage it. It is, if you're starting out, start with the even till this day I do not trade the strangles.
Yeah, in fact,
I
as far as strangles are concerned, I have seen so many times strangle is at $20, maybe at 230. It goes all the way to 40 and then expires at zero. That is also possible.
Yes, yes. So how do you control that volatility? Is my
Yeah.
question. Like, what do you do? Like, what I understood is that it's all about conviction, right? If you see a chart move like if you see it's a move up, you will get out of the trade. And once you're out of the
Yes.
trade, you're out, right? You will have to look for another trade. So that is the thing, actually.
Okay, I think we come to the end of the session, and it was definitely an eye opener. And I'm sure a lot of people who trade strangles on expiry will definitely be interested in this and how. I mean, why you should avoid strangles and why you can go for these guts or inverted strangles, because more or less you're getting the same number of points with much less volatility and much more win rate. So in terms of success ratio, this is definitely higher. Only thing is, for people who have never done this before, you need to do paper trades first. You need to watch the charts. You need to get used to it, get accustomed to it, and don't jump into the pool first. Understand what is the water like, whether it is hot, cold, or choppy, or turbulent, or what. And then look at it for a few months, and then maybe do paper trades. Of course, you can do paper trades and save it in Opstra or wherever, and then jump into it. And like he said, he has been doing it for almost 3 years and a very good success ratio. As long as you are happy with that 2 to 3 or maybe sometimes 4%, which is good enough actually. So thanks Abhishek, and it was definitely interesting, and I hope viewers also will like it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.